It's my great pleasure to introduce Maya Ghazal. In 2015, Maya Ghazal fled Damascus because of the war in Syria. As a young person, she had to leave behind her home, her plans, and her dreams. But with determination, hope, and resilience, she started a new life in the UK. She studied aviation engineering at Brunel University here in London, and now Maya is the first female Syrian refugee pilot. And she is here. Welcome, Maya, in her capacity as a Goodwill ambassador for UNHCR, speaking up for refugees. Thank you so much. We're honoured to have you.
Thank you so much. Sorting out the mics. It's all about the pre-speech preparations. These are as important as the speech itself. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here today in this historic hall, marking 80 years since the first United Nations General Assembly met in this very room. This anniversary is not only about looking back at what was built in 1946, but it is also about asking ourselves, what choices will we make now, and what kind of future will we build together? And as we reflect on this milestone, it feels especially meaningful to remember that we're also approaching the 75 years anniversary since the creation of the Refugee Convention. A promise made by the international community that people fleeing war and persecution will not be abandoned. For me, this is not abstract history. It's a personal story. When I left Syria in 2015, I was told that I would not have the opportunity to continue my studies, and my dreams would remain just that, dreams. But today, I stand before you, having worn many hats, as a professional pilot, an advocate, and as a UNHCR Goodwill ambassador. And most importantly, I am a living proof of what happens when refugees are given support, education, and opportunities. Because the truth is this: refugees are not only people who have survived displacement. Refugees are also people who continue to show the world what resilience looks like. Today, we are living through a moment where refugee numbers are at record levels, humanitarian needs are growing, and the global environment is becoming more difficult. It's time where international cooperation is needed more than ever so that refugees can find safety, protection, and eventually solutions. International principles and standards and the work of UNHCR and its partners are more relevant and vital than ever in this turbulent time. We must stay anchored in the truth. People first to flee are not searching for advantage. They are searching for safety and for the chance to live with dignity. We are students who keep studying even when life becomes impossible. We're mothers who protect and rebuild. We're workers and entrepreneurs to our communities. We're leaders and decision makers. We are young people who refuse to let displacement be the end of our story. I know this because I have lived it. My journey as a refugee was filled with uncertainty, fear, and barriers at every turn. But like many other refugees, I refused to accept that as a fact or as a reason not to try. Thanks to education, support, and opportunity that came my way, I stand before you today, proud to share my journey of becoming the first ever refugee woman from Syria to become a professional pilot. A profession where women, let alone refugee women, are severely underrepresented. I came to realize a powerful truth. Give displaced people safety and education, resources, and a platform, and they will do more than just survive. They will flourish. I hope that all refugees and displaced people from Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Syria, Afghanistan, and beyond get the same opportunities and access that I was fortunate to have here in the UK, to continue their education, enter the job market, and have a support system in their communities so they can break the cycle of suffering and have a fair opportunity to thrive, not just survive. All eyes are on my home country, Syria, right now. There is an extraordinary window of hope for peace and stability. Over 3 million displaced Syrians have returned home, but urgent international support is still needed to ensure these returns are sustainable and lasting. And moments like this remind us that what happens next depends on the choices we make as governments, as institutions, and as societies. I know that many people in the UK and around the world feel compassion for those forced to flee the conflict. And I have seen that kindness firsthand. But I also know how quickly public opinion can be influenced when refugees are scapegoated and talked about as numbers or as threats, instead of as people. Because behind every label is a person, a family, a story of loss, and another story of hope. People fleeing war and persecution do not leave everything behind because it's easy. They leave because staying is no longer safe. In my work with UNHCR, I've seen firsthand how international cooperation is the foundation of refugee protection. Most refugees remain in regions close to their homes, in countries like Chad, Jordan, and Bangladesh. The United Kingdom, along with other donor countries, continues to play a vital role in supporting these. Shelter people forced to flee in the communities hosting them, but also when it comes to investing in longer-term solutions that help refugees rebuild their lives. I hope the UK will continue to stay the course, because this work is essential and it is life-changing. So my message, especially to donors, leaders, and decision makers, is clear. We must invest in education, job opportunities, and leadership development for refugees. Because when they are empowered, entire communities benefit. And as we mark 80 years since the UN General Assembly first met here, I hope we leave with one message in mind. The future of the UN and the future of human rights will depend on whether we continue choosing solidarity over division. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And thank you all for being here today, not only to celebrate history, but to recommit to the values that must shape what comes on next. Thank you all.